And we're back. This is the Third Degree Whitebelts podcast. My name is Dom, and I used to be GSP's head greasing coach.
And I'm Matt, and I was the stunt coordinator for the latest series of Power Rangers. And welcome back. This week we're going to be breaking down Volkov versus Gane. We'll start with the headline fight. Cyril Gane against Alexander Volkov.
Yes.
Is that his name?
Alexander Volkov, yep.
Yeah, I thought it was a really entertaining fight. It was nice to have a heavyweight fight that was more technical than sloppy.
Yeah.
And one where they both didn't gas in the first 2 rounds.
That was the most impressive thing for me. I don't think I've seen a heavyweight fight with that level of skill.
Yeah, I thought Gane's use of varied striking was fantastic. I mean, he's always known to mix his strikes well.
Yeah.
Really went to the body against Volkov. Volkov was hitting him with a lot of leg kicks in this, but one thing that impressed me the most about this was Gane didn't really slow down either.
Yeah.
He kept his output high. He got a bit of more flat-footed in the later rounds, but I think he was just because he was comfortable standing near Volkov in the pocket. He sort of took what Volkov gave him, realised that it wasn't much of a threat, and then he was happy to stand and trade more. And I mean, he was still so elusive. Like, the way he manages distance is one of his best defensive qualities.
Yeah, he had like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson footwork at heavyweight, which is very impressive, and managed to keep it up for at least 3 rounds. And like you said, I don't think it was necessarily because he was gassed. I just felt like he probably realised he didn't need to move as much because Volkov didn't have so much to offer in terms of power.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that sort of bouncing karate footwork, it was very Robert Whittaker-esque.
Yeah.
I watched a recent video on YouTube by a guy called MMAI, 20-minute breakdown of Gane, really fantastic. Go and watch that if you're one of the 3 listeners
from Ellsfield
at the moment in Ellsfield.
Shout out to the guy in Ellsfield.
Shout out. Can you please follow us on Twitter?
Yeah, tell your family.
Send us your questions. Send us your questions and we will answer them next week. All right, back to Volkov versus Gane.
Yeah, I think to be honest, watching this fight, it has made me excited to see Gane go up against Ngannou, because it's a different style compared to anything else that Ngannou has faced. Like, a very measured fighter who can manage distance well, and I think in a bigger cage, which it probably will be if it's a pay-per-view, I think he's got a real decent chance of, making it difficult for Ngannou. I don't know if he'll win though.
Yeah, definitely. Well, every fighter that's fought Ngannou, apart from Stipe, has seemed to panic.
Yeah.
Gane is, every time he's looked the opposite of that. For a guy that's 9 fights in and has been fighting MMA for 3 years and Muay Thai for 5, he is so calm, so composed and measured. It is unbelievable. Which is why, to be honest, he should probably sit around and wait for the title shot. Like, John Jones is sitting out. Derek Lewis is doing what Derek Lewis does, which is talk mad shit on Twitter about this being a karate sparring match.
Yeah.
But the fight hasn't been signed yet for Lewis and Ngannou.
Yeah. To be honest, I would like to see him fight one more top guy, just to see maybe how he deals with someone with a big puncher, because you're not going to get that with Volkov.
But he beat Rosenstruck in his last one.
Yeah.
Who's a big puncher. He's got knockout power.
That's true.
And he just, again, like, it wasn't the most entertaining fight, but he dominated him across 5 rounds, and Rosenstruck just looked frozen.
That's true. You've changed my mind completely. He should sit out for the title fight. You're completely right.
Yeah, just sit out. Never fight again. Do a Colby Covington and just ask for a title fight.
Yeah, no, that's the reason why I would say he needs to fight again, because otherwise he's going to be waiting around. If this Lewis fight is happening in, I don't know, August or whatever they were saying, September, then he definitely should fight again. He didn't take too much damage in that last one. He didn't take any damage in the one before that. He's still young. He probably needs the experience. So Cyril, if you live in Ellsfield and you are our one listener, please take another fight.
Yeah, I mean, he could fight Stipe.
Stipe said that he's waiting for the title as well.
Oh, fantastic! So everyone's just sitting around waiting to fight Ngannou. Yeah. Okay, so he probably does need to stay active. Then I was probably wrong about that.
He's going to end up fighting like Tibora or someone, because he must have moved up the rankings.
So the only other one is Curtis Blades
Yeah, who just lost.
Who's just lost to Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Gane versus Blades, interesting fight.
Yeah, that is a pretty interesting fight because Blade really would be aggressive with takedowns.
He's asking him a different question.
Yeah, exactly.
Which would be, interesting. Yeah, if you look at the guys he's fought, he's already fought Tanabosa, decisioned him, knocked out Dos Santos, Rosenstrike beat him. So yeah, maybe fighting Blades next, ask a different question if he comes through that, which, to be honest, the way his last few fights have gone, I don't see why he wouldn't. Then you're looking at a title shot, and it's probably one of the most intriguing heavyweight matches. Right, so now we've decided that Gane's fighting Blades.
No, he can't. It's a stupid because he's coming off a KO loss, so Blades should not be getting a fight against Gane, who I think was ranked number 3 yesterday. So he's going to be ranked number 1 or 2, and Blades is probably lower down in the top 10.
Would you want to see him fight John Jones?
Oh, that'd be a great fight. They're very similar fighters, I think, as well.
In like a title eliminator.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a waste of John Jones' time. But I think, that would be a great fight.
Yeah, you're right. I think John Jones only wants to fight for the title. This is the problem. We've got too many guys that just want to fight for the title.
Yeah.
But
some of you guys are fucking losers, okay? And you're not all going to make it. Some of you should be down there in the lower rankings, and you just have to accept that you're not the top guy.
Yeah, you listening, John Jones?
Yeah. Is that you, John Jones, at Ellsfield?
Next fight we're looking at is Boza versus OSP.
Good fight for Boza. Bad fight for OSP.
OSP looked shocking.
Yeah. You got to wonder why is he at heavyweight?
Because he's a thick boy.
He's a thick boy, but he was a thick boy at light heavyweight.
He was.
He just can't be bothered to cut the fucking weight anymore.
He's joined Brendan Schaub's Thick Nation,
right.
And he's gotten huge.
He's Chappelle.
He's become Chappelle.
Yeah.
He's got too juicy.
Yeah.
And now he's just... I mean, he looked just lethargic.
Yeah.
He didn't get a lot off. Boza looks, I mean, fairly decent.
I'm not going to say he's a title contender. Maybe he should sit out and wait for the title shot as well.
Maybe OSP should sit out and demand a title shot.
Yeah. But no, I think, he's going to be one of those guys that hangs around the top 15 for a while. I think he's relatively young.
Most amount of leg kicks thrown at heavyweight. Second is Cyril Gane. So, he's not just your bog standard heavyweight. The main talking point of this fight, though, was the fact that now OSP is contending the decision. DC was piping off about...
He started a conspiracy theory during the fight.
Against Tanabosa.
When Joe Rogan's not there, Daniel Cormier has to create the conspiracy theories during the fight, and that's all he can fucking talk about.
Yeah, there's more commentary that we've got to talk about later on. But this commentary of DC just getting all mad about how he pulled himself up using the cage, and he didn't.
Right.
It was a closed fist. But that's not what OSP's contending.
Right.
OSP's contending the decision because Jason Herzog touched them on the back.
Which is really gay. You're not allowed to do that. No, this is a non-contact sport.
It's an illegal move. And he said, "You touched me."
Right.
Now I've got
cooties.
HR.
Yeah.
I can't fight anymore.
Do you think UFC has an HR department?
What are they? No, because Dana White is.
He's in charge of it. Yeah.
Can you imagine going to Dana White and saying,
"Yeah," and he's like, "Do you want to be a fucking fighter?" And then he fucks you in the arse.
Of course, the UFC doesn't have an HR department. They don't even have healthcare for fighters. Why would they have HR? It's not going to get overturned. I'll be surprised. I feel bad for Tanabosa if it does.
Yeah.
But I don't know what OSP's doing. And it's 2 losses in a row. If he has one more, we might see him in Bellator fighting Rashad Evans.
Yeah, I can imagine that for sure. He's been in the UFC for such a long time. They might give him a couple more fights. I mean, they gifted him like the title shot as well. I think they like him, so they probably might give him a few more chances. But he does really look done at the top level.
Yeah, well, they've got all the great clips of him doing the Von Flu or Von Prue choke.
Which, Daniel Cormier, stop trying to get the name changed to the Von Prue choke. He didn't invent it. You don't just get to change the name because one guy's good at it.
Did he make it his own? Like, did he tweak it?
No, fuck you. If someone steals your joke and then said, I tweaked it and made it my own, it's still just a stolen joke.
Yeah, that is true.
You know what? You should only be allowed to use submissions that you invented.
Who is Von?
Jason Von Flew was on Ultimate Fighter, like, I don't know, 7, maybe 3 or 4. I have no idea.
Is he still alive?
Yeah. Yeah, he is. Because I looked him up on Facebook, and he's mad about people trying to change the name of his choke that he invented.
Is he?
It's so sad. Imagine if you invented a submission, and I was like, yeah, but this guy does it better.
Oh fuck yeah! Right, we're taking Jason
Von Flew.
Jason Von Flu's side.
Yeah.
In this debate, yeah, he needs to keep his name.
Right, like Kimura, that was invented by the Japanese Kimura guy back in 1801 or whatever. We're gonna change the name of that to fucking
the Butterbean when he
the Butterbean, yeah, the Butterbean, because he did it one time.
He did it one time to Zulu.
Yeah.
Right, next fight. Next fight was Barcelos versus Valiev.
Oh yeah, pretty good fight. The what are we saying here? The B League.
This was fantastic. This was the Russian Frankie Edgar versus the B-side Jose Aldo, and the way Valiev moved looked so much like Frankie Edgar. The way he like bopped around and his head
side
just
to
went
side
side
movement.
to side. Yeah,
the running head first into punches. It was all very Edgarish.
Getting uppercutted as well by fake Jose Aldo, but not staying on his feet.
He looked like Jose Aldo. In all fairness, I feel bad for calling him the B-side Jose Aldo because he's actually very fucking good. He's
very good, but he didn't win.
No. No. You should set up for a title shot.
There's no technical breakdown on this fight. It's just calling them pieces.
I mean, yeah. This is what happened in the fight was Dagestani Edgar just moved around a lot, and like a lot of Edgar fights, he mesmerizes his opponents with twitching and twatching and flicking and flacking, and then he gets the fucking decision. The
classic Frankie Edgar technique. Even this guy's probably never met Frankie Edgar before, but he's stolen his entire identity. This is the second time it's happened on this fight card. Semprou stealing the Von Flew joke, and Valiev stealing Frankie Edgar.
Are we going to call it the Valiev style? No, it's the Edgar style.
UFC Fight Night 30 stolen identities is what they should have been called.
Yeah, and then also Volkov stealing Pineda's tattoo.
Yes, they had the same tattoo.
Which is originally Chris Lieben's tattoo. It goes even deeper.
The reason we didn't talk about Volkov's next fight was because it's obvious that he needs to fight Pineda for the right to have that back tattoo.
Yeah.
And then Chris Lieben can referee it. Right, so just moving smoothly onto Andre Fili versus...
Yeah, great fight. Daniel Pineda.
Yeah. It was a great fight. I mean, this is the best that I've ever seen Andre Fili look.
The problem is he has these moments of looking at me. I remember when he first came into the UFC, he was like 19 and he looked great back then. A great striker. There was so much hype. I don't know if you remember this, but there was so much hype because not only was he a good fighter, but he was also banging Paige Van Zandt. And he used to post about it on the underground forum.
Did he?
Like he was openly bragging about banging Paige Van Zandt.
Were you posting on the forum at that time?
No, I don't think I ever really posted. I used to just lurk on that forum.
And just...
I was a hardcore Sherdog user, so I didn't want to let them know. Yeah, it's a bit of a turf war between the two. Yeah, so Daniel Pineda, Andre Fili, really great fight. Upsetting about the eye poke, especially since, Volkov got poked in the eye as well. Bilal Muhammad's blind. Michael Bisping also blind. So many fighters are blind or almost blind, and we need to put a stop to this.
I've got a theory that the UFC... Dana White keeps on saying that they don't want to have a look at these other gloves because the UFC are developing their own glove.
Right.
And they've been developing their own glove for years. I've got a theory that they've never been developing their own glove. And they just don't care.
I have a feeling.
Because Trevor Whitman, I think they wanted to buy it or something, and he was like, no, I want to keep it. It's my glove, keep the patent for it. And the UFC were like, no, we'll just continue letting our fighters get poked in the eye.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it ruins watching events as well. Like if you say you're in Birmingham, and Leon Edwards is fighting Bilal Muhammad.
You're already having a bad
night. And you bring
your
whole family around and be like, look, they've never watched MMA before. and you're like, come and watch Leon
You're
Edwards.
taking your family to Birmingham.
This is
This is a horrible night.
He's my favourite fighter. You sit them all down. Like, this is Leon Edwards. And 2 minutes in, he pokes Bilal Muhammad in the eye, and all your family is like,
damn, he's good. He's effective.
Surely that's an instant win.
Yeah. To be honest, wouldn't MMA be a lot funnier if like dick kicks were allowed?
Well, they were in
dick.
the early UFCs, yeah.
And they were great. Emmanuel Yarbrough was the king. Like, bring that guy back.
I mean, do you think there's a special kicking technique for?
But we don't know. We don't know. That's the problem.
What would be more effective, like a leg kick style or like a push kick teep?
Interesting.
Because if you teep someone in the nuts,
you're
going to push them.
Yeah, I think you want an upward force.
You want to sort of, like a soccer kick, a Jose Aldo.
Yeah.
Soccer kick straight.
Yeah, bring back no rules UFC.
Right, should we look at the next fight?
Yeah, so what was the next fight?
Tim Means versus Nicholas Dalby.
Okay.
This was an entertaining fight. I think Tim Means did really well to fight smart and not get dragged into like a dogfight that Dalby wanted, especially in the third round when Dalby rocked him. Means managed to tie up, keep him against the fence, and just ride it out. It was a really good performance from Tim Means. The thing that annoyed me most about this fight was Paul Felder spent the first 3 minutes of the first round talking about Nicholas Dalby's breathing.
Oh, yeah,
going like, he's breathing so heavy, And Nicholas Dalby's done some weird like Wim Hof breathing method, and he's like, this is going to help me. And then in the third round, Paul Felder was still talking about it, going, but he's not gassed. I don't understand. He just wouldn't drop it. He's clearly learned from Rogan.
Yeah.
The Rogan school of commentary of like find one thing and just never stop talking about it, even though it doesn't matter.
Now, who do you think has a better nickname? Tim the Dirty Bird Means or Andre Touchy-Feely?
Andre Touchy-Feely's nickname is a good nickname, also the perfect nickname for a paedophile.
Yeah.
Tim Means' nickname, I don't know, I feel it would be better
the Dirty Bird, that's a fucking great name, man.
It's a great name. I think it would be
kind
better
of looks like a bird.
If he made bird noises when he punched.
What kind of bird?
A pigeon.
He's a dirty bird. Yeah, I'm all about. You know what? You sold me. I was thinking of like a big bird type of fucking ostrich. I was like, I don't think they even make noises.
No, every time he throws an elbow, I want to hear him go, cool.
You know what? That's a great idea. I am on board. Guys, if any fighters listen to this and you need more career advice, get rid of the tits, become a pigeon. We got a lot of ideas for you. Dick kicks, no tits, pigeon noises.
Next for Tim Means, who do you want to see him fight next?
Anyone, anywhere.
So he pretty much said that. He said, like, I'm fighting for money. I want to see him fight Carlos Condit.
Why?
2 old men slugging it out.
Have they not already fought?
No, so Tim Means fought Matt Brown and Matt Brown beat him.
I feel like I've seen Tim Means against so many lanky welterweights.
Yeah, Tim Means has fought everyone.
Right.
Like, everyone outside the top 15.
Right, yeah.
Every time I see him fight, he looks so good. And I'm like, this guy is amazing.
Have you seen him lose?
I've never seen him.
Yeah, I've never seen him lose. He's undefeated in your head.
Tim Means is just the greatest fighter. Tim the Pigeon Man Means.
The dirty pigeon Means. But he's been in the UFC a while. He's definitely lost to more people than just Matt Brown.
Lost to Nico Price. He lost to Bilal Muhammad.
You're telling me he's the best fighter ever. He's lost so many fights in the UFC. Oh my god.
Going down the card, looking at Moicano versus Herbert. What do you think of this?
A real blow for the stereotype that English people can't wrestle.
I know, I was so upset. I mean, Moicano got knocked out in 3 of his last 4.
Damn.
And, I mean, he's fought Korean Zombie and Jose Aldo, and both those guys finished him. And then, so he's a bit of a drop in quality of opposition.
Yeah,
in
wait,
fighting.
have you seen Jai Herbert fight before?
No, so this is his second fight in the UFC.
Right. I only just started watching the UFC 2 weeks ago, actually, when we started this podcast, so I wouldn't know.
Anyway, he's called the Black Country Banger, so immediately I was super excited for him. And then I just watched him get taken down 5 times and put up no form of... like in the last 2 minutes of the first round, Herbert looked like he was having a bit of success. Moicano, he hit him with a good left hook to the body and a right hand to the chin. Moicano didn't look that comfortable on his feet either, probably because he's been knocked out the past few times. But then, again, just went in, got an overhook and underhook and just took him down. Start the second round, exactly the same. Herbert comes out, throws a leg kick. Moicano comes in, another overhook and underhook, takes him down, and then finishes the job from there. It was, he just ruined the image of British fighters being able to wrestle.
I mean, I don't think there was ever really an image to begin with.
For a while, we were looking good.
Yeah, we kind of had a little resurgence. Like, I think even Bisping really improved his wrestling. Who else did we have that kind of save?
Brad Pickett could wrestle.
Yeah, Pickett. I feel like there was a newer guy.
Arnold Allen. Like, he's well-rounded. He's trained at TriStar. And Jai Herbert comes out and sets us back 20 years.
Dude, I used to have great wrestling. Just naturally. Like, honestly, it was so good. And no one ever fucking took me down.
You were like the Jose Aldo of...
Yeah, it just came to me naturally. I don't know how...
Was your striking good, or were you just...
My striking was alright, but, if you wanted to take me down with my mediocre striking, you wouldn't be able to.
Were you good offensive wrestler?
Yeah, just both ways.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah.
So, Jai Herbert, if you're listening...
Come talk to me.
Come talk to Dom. What was your favourite method of taking someone down?
This is the most underrated, in my mind, one of the most underrated things. You go for the takedown. Most of the times you don't get it the first time because, whatever, who cares? You're lazy, you didn't shoot.
Because you didn't set it up. And
because you do an English setup, which is just running head first into their stomach. But then the trick is you hook the leg. You grab him by the waist and then you hook the leg. And even if you fail with that, you're still putting him off balance. And then you use your other leg to hook the other leg. It's 100%. It's a 90%, 100% of the time takedown record.
The Whitebelt school of never failing a takedown.
Yeah, just
Rugby
hook the legs
and then hook the legs.
Right hook, left hook.
Was that the main one that you shot for?
Yeah, I would always go for a double leg and then I would just hook the leg and it worked.
Would you set it up with strikes?
Yeah, of course.
What sort of strikes would you set it up with?
Just dick kicks, mostly.
Couple of dick kicks. Yeah. Couple of eye pokes.
Yeah. You love to, you know the classic thing at school when someone pokes your eye and they do the flat hand between the nose to block. I don't know how to describe this, but you put your flat hand sticking out of your face like an extra nose, like a shark fin on your face to protect. Wouldn't you love to see like a really quick version of that in MMA? Like, obviously fighters have gotten so good at protecting themselves from eye pokes in this hypothetical scenario. And a guy goes for it and the other guy just blocks it.
So if you're saying when John Jones was fighting DC,
yeah,
John Jones, well, I mean, both of them poking each other in the eye, but John Jones reached out his hand and DC just karate chops in between his fingers.
Yeah, he split his hand into two.
And then follows up with like...
just a double ball punch. That's both fists into one individual ball. For maximum damage.
We're changing the UFC here. Yeah. Right, should we have a look at some of the prelims?
Yeah.
Like, let's start off with
just do a quick...
Yeah, so we picked a couple of fights from the prelims to have a look at. The first fight was Shavkat versus Prazeres.
Yeah. It really just shows you how Borat has, completely misconstrued our view of Kazakhstanis.
Well, you made a good point, because he didn't look anything like Borat.
He was Asian.
Well, Kazakhstan is...
He was a tall Asian. I've never seen that shit before.
Very long Asian man.
He was a direct descendant of Genghis Khan, I think.
He did, and he looked terrifying, and he fought a... what can only be described as an absolutely yoked small Brazilian man.
Yeah. He really does look like an angry butcher or something, doesn't it?
And
yeah, he beat him up.
Chazkat did beat him up. This lends to the theory of fighters that wear like furry hats are scarier than fighters that don't. Time for the news.
MMA news time. What's the first story?
That's good.
Yeah.
First story of the week. Fedor announces his comeback.
Very exciting.
I can't wait to watch Fedor fight a really fat Rampage Jackson again.
Well, I saw October. Josh Barnett was like, we should do this.
So
maybe we'll take down fucking Bellator too.
The rumours from the sources are Junior Dos Santos.
Oh, he's not in the US. Oh, yeah.
He's been cut.
Okay. I think that's too dangerous for him.
Apparently, Overeem can fight outside of Glory.
Okay.
Which I think Overeem would kill him.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure I want to see that fight. And our favourite ex-mayor of Huntington Beach, Tito Ortiz.
That's the fight I want to see.
This is the fight I want to see, mainly because I want to see Tito beat Fedor and then never shut the fuck up.
Absolutely
never shut the fuck up about it. You don't want to see him?
I love Fedor so much.
I know you do, but wouldn't it be funny if Tito
No,
beat
it
him?
wouldn't be funny. Being a Fedor fan is already a pretty depressing experience at this point. He got knocked out by Brian Bader. He got knocked out by Mitrione.
He did. And he lost to... Well,
he got his ass kicked by Maldonado.
Yeah, Maldonado in Russia.
Nabababo. Remember that?
And they changed the scorecards as well.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Fedor won.
Yeah, it's just embarrassing at this point. And
yeah.
What is he doing? How is he not the richest man in Russia? Like, what are they doing over there? He's friends with Putin.
I think he had some kind of like legal thing where someone stole all his money.
So yeah, Fedor's coming back. I hope he changes his mind again and retires for the 7th time. And you know, to be honest, but the last time I saw him, he had a lot of power, he had a lot of speed. He just didn't have a lot of chin.
I mean, he was sloppy as fuck though.
He's always been like, yeah, but the loopy punch, yeah, I mean, he's always been like in that kind of way. He's completely abandoned grappling at this point.
Yeah, and he was, let's be honest, he was just fighting fat men in Japan. So.
Wrong. No, that was the top. Those were the top heavyweights of the day.
The top heavyweights of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, which were just fat men in Japan.
Yeah.
It was just roided up people and
Charles. I mean, well, that's the thing. People are like, oh, they were on steroids. Like, yeah, the competition was better back then. I mean, I'm sure they are now, but like also, you know, they weren't regulated, so they were like Superman back in the day.
They were like Superman back in the day, like Mark Coleman, Kevin Randleman. If Superman could only fight for 3 minutes,
yeah. Which you don't. If you are Superman, you only need to fight for three minutes. What are you doing? Jabbing? You don't jab when you're Superman. You throw fucking uppercuts and hooks. You finish the fight in one punch.
And run in and just take down straight away. Speaking of this, Superman back in the day, Don Fry on Joe Rogan's podcast said he wants Francis Ngannou. Now, I mean, I enjoyed listening to Joe just be like, oh, why don't you fight someone who's your own age? And Don Fry was like, well, he's the guy with the belt. As if any commission would be like, yes, you're cleared to fight. Saying that, if Don Fry came back, who would you want to see him fight?
Fedor.
Fedor in Russia, Don Fry versus Bellator.
Versus Bellator, that'd be good. The entire roster versus Don Fry.
The death of Don Fry.
It's just a dead body and 50 fighters from all weight classes just kicking him in the fucking stomach.
Killed by one of the Pitbull brothers.
It's been the Third Degree Whitebelts podcast. You've been listening to the Kung Fu Kids live. Please subscribe, tell your mother about us, send this to your girlfriend's child, and
if you can follow us on Twitter and send in any questions, and we'll answer them on next week's podcast.